Winning matches with bad teammates seems like something that a lot of people really want to learn how to do. It seems like something that I don't know. People really hope that there's always a way to win every single match with every single bad teammate. And while I won't tell you guys straight up that there is a way to do that, I can tell you guys today some ways that you can quite well increase your chance of winning with troll teammates, feeders, uncooperative players, really anything like that. Carrying these games to your best ability and giving yourself the highest % chance of winning these games. Of course, again, can't promise winning every single one, but even just winning 1 out of 10 extra, it can of course boost your rank quite a bit. That said, let's get straight onto the first way, and that is to try to calm down your teammates. Now, one thing I want to say is that calming down your teammates, these troll teammates, whatever, it's the best way to do this. If you can calm them down, if you can make them go normal team comp and make them into a semi-regular player, that is the best thing to possibly do. Now, the problem here is that it is a big job and it feels like you're babysitting people. It's not something that you want to do, and having to talk to your teammates, talk about what happened, and maybe try to boost them up to playing some character that they're good at, that they can play well with you. It's annoying. It takes a lot of time, and of course, as well, I want to say, it's not your inherent job. You don't have to do this. It's not something that you have to do every single game. If you have these teammates, there's a lot of other things you can do as well. With that said, if you possibly can, try to calm them down and try to make them play, at least somewhat well. That is the best way to help yourself win, the best way to try to stop these trolls. Just make them, I guess, feel better. But, yeah, that doesn't always work. So let's just get straight onto the second way. And that is, if you happen to have somebody that's too toxic, that won't calm down, that won't do anything, a way that you can actually carry your games is to just exit voice chat, mute the player, and focus completely on your gameplay. Make yourself the best that you possibly can be, focus on your plays, focus on your picks, focus on your positioning more than anything else. A lot of the times people get just, carried into, I guess, trying to carry with their teams. Carried into taking in the negativity and carried into everything like that. However, sometimes if you just take yourself apart from this completely, ignore that you have that troll player, ignore that you have that bad player, and just keep going on the best you possibly can, you can win a decent amount of games. I mean, just recently I won a 5v6 with an AFK player and a team that really wasn't way too happy. Of course, I had to pull out a lot of God McCree plays, 3 hexa kills, and a lot of luck as well. But when you put it all together, sometimes just focusing on your gameplay and doing that the best you possibly can is the best thing that you possibly can do. Now, a third way that I feel like can also help you is make team comps that don't require way too much coordination. I feel like a lot of people right now are trying to make all as much dive comps as they possibly can. You got to get dive comp here, get dive comp there. Make all these comps there. You have to actually have a lot of coordination, jump in at the same time, and play from that. A lot of the times if you have a player that's not really trying that hard, it's not a good idea to make a comp that requires a lot of coordination, a lot of time where you have to go in at the same time. So what you can do is make a comp that doesn't require way too much. Of course, Reinhardt comps I feel like can do that quite well in this meta. Of course, they're a lot weaker than dive comps, but you can still do decently well with them. And as well, Torb, Orisa, and Symmetra I feel like is a great idea to do that on defense with. Doesn't really require way too much at all as far as coordination goes. Maybe just have a pretty decent Orisa, and there you go. You can do well. All the players can play to their best abilities, and yeah, if you can possibly suggest to your team maybe to make an easier team comp for a player that's not really doing way too well, that might win you a game in itself, and that might help you carry a game in itself. Continuing on, a fourth way that you could help yourself win is to play a hero like Winston or Reinhardt and just simply tell your team to follow you. Spam the group up with me command, spam whatever, type in chat, talk in chat, whatever you could possibly do, and try to get as many people as you can to follow you. Now, maybe you won't always be able to get every single player and get the most uncooperative players, but if you can get the majority of your team on your side going in with you, as most players probably will by default because you are the main tank, then that should be good enough in a lot of situations to help you win games. I feel like a lot of people kind of underestimate just how easy it is to get people to follow you, and if you actually know when to go in, yeah, you can carry yourself a lot of games with your teammates. If you can get even just a 5v6 going on, you might give yourself a chance, and if you can happen to get in the back line, pick off 1 or 2 of the supports, get a 5v5 going on, there you go. You got a much higher increased chance of winning, and you might actually go on to win that game. And the final thing that I want to tell you guys is pretty much just an extension of that last one. If you're playing, Reinhardt or Winston, whatever, and you have a really dumb teammate that keeps doing all this random crap, what you can do is to actually wait for that dumb teammate to go in, and if they're at a decent positioning, actually try to help them, or if they're at a really bad and stupid position, let the enemy team try to focus them while you go around the side with your team and try to get a pick, either on the support, on a tank, on a DPS, really on whoever you can try to find. If you can happen to make that, -1 on your team become a 1-for-1, and your team's slightly better than the other team, other than that, you can actually win that game. Use that one person as bait and just go in from there, and sometimes you can even just completely team wipe the enemy team. Of course, again, won't work every single time, but you know, when you're stuck on the ground as low as you possibly can be, that can be a really good thing to try to go for, and a good thing that you can tell your teammates to try to do. And maybe if you're kind of doing that, maybe the person that's not trying that hard will try a little bit harder, because they'll see how you actually do stand a chance to win, as that seems to be one of the main things that also happens to make people want to try, is doing well and actually carrying your team makes your team want to try harder, which makes the game easier. You can just kind of go on from there. But anyways, those are at least the 5 ways that I feel like you can definitely at least somewhat carry your games with troll teammates, feeders, uncooperative players, whatever else you have in your games, even AFK sometimes. You can somewhat carry your games and do the best you possibly can do and increase your win rate to the highest possible echelon that it could possibly be. But that is, of course, again, just my own opinion, and just, of course, again, my own experience. It may not follow what you get, but as far as what I can say, that's what I've experienced. Anyways, as always, guys, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see any more videos like this in the future. Pretty much giving you guys tips on how to win a few more games. As always, guys, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.